GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, I'm CJ Waterhouse. This hour will remember the wake of legendary pianist Oliver Jones, and I'll have an update on today's REM service hiccup that's slowing commuters. Traffic's light, but there are a few road closures, and we'll check in on Good Food's creditor protection filing. Over to you, Jeff.
The SDM announced plans for a citywide celebration marking the Montreal Metro's 60th anniversary, featuring guided tour, historical exhibits, and live performances throughout the weekend.
The festivities will include a special illumination of the original Green Line stations, with LED light shows synchronized to classic Québécois songs each evening.
Free public transportation will be offered on Saturday and Sunday for all Metro riders, encouraging families to explore historic stations and learn about the network's evolution.
There's a lot to explore at the Metro celebration and many more stories ahead, but first, the news, so let's begin. Here are our top stories.
Montreal will host a public wake this afternoon for celebrated Canadian jazz pianist Oliver Jones, allowing residents to gather and say farewell. Colette Barbeau has the full story.
An open wake has gathered in the heart of Montreal this afternoon as friends, family and strangers file past a polished casket bearing the name of Oliver Jones. The celebrated jazz pianist, whose fingers trace the city's musical history for decades, lies under a simple black veil while a lone trumpet plays soft licks familiar to his recordings. Volunteers hand out programs, and a small choir lifts a hymn that once opened one of his most beloved albums. The ceremony, open to the public, gives Montrealers a chance to pause, reflect, and share a quiet goodbye to the man whose melodies shaped their evenings. The atmosphere remains reverent yet warm, echoing the gentle swing that defined his career. Colette Barbeau, GMNA News, Montreal. An equipment failure on the REM has caused interruptions and slowdowns across multiple segments of the rapid transit network in Montreal, leaving riders waiting for service restoration. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
An equipment failure has forced the REM to halt service on multiple lines, leaving commuters stranded and trains moving at reduced speed across several segments. The fault was detected early this morning, prompting operators to suspend trains on the southwest branch while crews worked to replace the damaged component. Passengers were advised to seek alternative transport, and some stations posted temporary shuttle buses. Service is expected to resume gradually as repairs progress, though officials warn that full restoration could take several hours. Daily commuters report longer wait times and crowded platforms as the system works to restore normal operations. The disruption adds to the network's ongoing challenges in maintaining its rapid transit schedule for the greater Montreal area. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
Montreal officials are moving to restart the eastern segment of the REM, stalled since May 2022 after downtown opposition. City Councillor Martinez Ferrada says the project will be re-examined. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
City officials are pushing to get the stalled eastern arm of the REM back on track. After the project was put on hold in May 2022 because downtown residents rejected the plan, the administration, led by Transport Minister Martinez Ferrada, says it has a new outreach strategy and revised route options. The revised proposal focuses on improving connections to existing transit hubs and addressing community concerns about noise and density. Funding discussions are underway with the provincial government and the REM consortium, aiming to lock in a timeline that could see construction restarting before the end of the year. Officials hope the renewed effort will finally bring the promised rapid link to the east side of the city. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
Quebec's Operation Sac à Douze program will distribute school supply kits to 12,000 students in need this August, aiming to ensure every child has essential materials for the new school year. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Backpacks are being packed right here in a community center as the Operation Sac à Douze rollout gets underway. Coordinators from Regroupement Partage sort through boxes of pencils, notebooks, and calculators, preparing kits for students who lack basic school gear. The program targets 12,000 learners across Quebec, with distribution slated to begin in August. Volunteers hand the filled bags to families, while CBC Montreal Daybreak's Sean Henry captures the moments for a broader audience. Organizers say the aim is simply to make sure every child starts the school year with the tools they need. The effort spans urban and rural schools, reaching into neighborhoods that have been waiting for this support. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Montreal.
Police discovered a woman's body in a Montreal apartment, identifying an injured male suspect now hospitalized while the investigation continues. No further details are available at this time. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Police entered a second-floor apartment on Thursday after receiving a welfare check call. Inside, they found a woman deceased, lying on the living room floor with visible trauma. Officers secured the scene and began a forensic sweep. Shortly after, an adult male was located in the adjacent unit, bleeding from a head wound. He was taken to a local hospital for treatment and identified by detectives as the primary suspect in the homicide. Because of his medical condition, any court appearance has been delayed. Investigators are still gathering evidence, interviewing neighbors and reviewing security footage from the building. The case remains open as detectives work to determine motive and confirm the victim's identity. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Montreal.
We'll soon hear how the SDM plans to celebrate the Metro's 60th anniversary, plus more headlines. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. SDM has unveiled plans to celebrate the Metro's 60th anniversary in October 2026, marking 6 decades since the network opened on October 14, 1966. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
SDM has rolled out a slate of events to celebrate 60 years of the Metro, slated for October 2026. The agency says the programming will run throughout the month, featuring themed rides, art installations at stations, and community activities that trace the system's evolution since its first train left the platform on October 14, 1966. Officials highlighted the network's role in moving millions daily and plan to showcase historic vehicles alongside modern upgrades. Planned highlights include live music performances on station platforms, guided tour of original tunnels, and educational workshops for school groups. The celebration aims to bring riders, families, and local groups together across the city's 11 lines, reinforcing the Metro's place in everyday life. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
Political analyst in Ottawa says the upcoming Quebec election this fall will not jeopardize the newly announced Churchill Falls hydroelectric agreement, with federal influence expected to preserve the deal. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
The new Churchill Falls Hydroelectric Pact is on the table as Quebec heads toward a provincial election later this fall. The announcement comes just weeks before voters head to the polls, adding a rare point of continuity to an otherwise shifting political landscape. An Ottawa-based political analyst told us the vote is unlikely to derail the agreement, saying federal influence should keep the project on track even if a new premier takes office. The expert noted that the terms were locked in with both provinces' signatures already in place, and that Ottawa's leverage on energy policy will act as a safeguard. While campaign rhetoric may swing on other issues, the consensus among insiders is that the deal will survive any shift in Quebec's leadership. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Montreal.
Hydro-Quebec's Hilo smart thermostats have ignited in several Montreal homes, producing smoke and a burnt odor, while owners say the utility has not responded to their complaints. Nadia Bellafuel has the full story.
Inside a modest condo on St. Laurent, a Hilo thermostat hissed before flames licked the plastic housing, filling the kitchen with thick smoke and a sharp burnt odor. The homeowner, who asked not to be named, says the unit sparked while set to a low temperature and the fire alarm failed to trigger. Neighbors reported a similar incident last week in a nearby duplex, also involving the same smart thermostat model. Both owners say they filed complaints with Hydro-Quebec's customer service but have heard nothing back, and the company has not issued a public statement. Hydro-Quebec markets Hilot devices as energy-saving, yet multiple users now report fire hazards without any response from the utility. Nadia Bellafuil, GMNA News, Montreal. Montreal officials have postponed approval for a new school in Park Extension, citing the need to verify projected student age population growth. City representatives, including Martinez Ferrada, remain opposed until data is confirmed. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
City officials are holding off on green lighting a new school in Park Extension while they double-check the forecasted rise in school-age children. The Centre de Services Scolaires de Montreal recently delivered its enrollment projections, but the municipal administration says it needs solid proof of growth before committing resources. Mayor-appointed committees have reviewed the data and remain unconvinced that the numbers justify construction at this stage. As a result, the proposal sits in limbo, with the school board waiting for the city's final go-ahead. No decision has been made, and the timeline for any further action remains uncertain. City officials said on Monday that until the projected rise is confirmed, no funding or permits will be issued, leaving the school board awaiting further data. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Park Extension.
Montreal's Blue-Collar Workers Union is considering a strike that could coincide with the UCI Road World Championships slated for September 2026. Nadia Bellafuil has the full story.
At the heart of downtown Montreal, representatives from the city's Blue-Collar Workers Union are weighing a strike that could coincide with the opening of the UCI Road World Championships later this September. Union officials say negotiations over wages and working conditions have stalled, and members are prepared to walk out if an agreement isn't reached before the international cycling event kicks off. City leaders warn that a work stoppage could affect public transportation, venue preparation, and street-side services that cyclists and spectators rely on. Organizers of the championships have urged both sides to find a resolution quickly, emphasizing the importance of a smooth start for the global competition. Nadia Bellafuil, GMNA News, Plateau. Let's check the afternoon forecast and see what the sky has in store for us.
A fast southwestern jet fuels lingering rain while pressure climbs, setting a cool, damp afternoon across Montreal. On this day, the city once sweltered to 31.2 degrees in 2015, a blistering mark set during a lingering heat wave that pushed the western ridge unusually far east. By contrast, 2014 delivered a chilly 10.6 degrees when a sudden Arctic surge slipped through a weakened front, dropping temperatures well below the June-August average. Normal highs hover around 23 degrees and lows near 18, so both extremes sit well outside the typical range for late August. The live radar shows a compact band of moderate rain marching southeast across the South Shore, arriving over Montreal at about 3 p.m. and peaking shortly after. The storm core thins by 4 p.m., leaving a clear corridor as the fast southwestern jet pushes the moisture downstream. With the system exiting, the map clears entirely for the remainder of the afternoon, allowing us to shift to the day's outlook. At noon, Montreal sits under a thick cloud deck with light rain and a temperature of 21 degrees. Humidity remains high at 91%, while a gentle northwest breeze gusts to 18 kilometers per hour. Pressure is near average but slowly rising, signaling drier, more stable air will replace the current moisture. Overhead, a swift southwestern jet stream blows at roughly 151 kilometers per hour, steering the lingering rain band eastward. The rain will intensify around 3 p.m., then taper off by 4, leaving clear skies for the evening. Temperatures hold near 21 degrees through the afternoon, peaking at 22 before dipping to 17 at night. UV index stays at 1, and no weather alerts are in effect. With the rain ending, we now turn to the 5-day outlook. Thursday brings another overcast day with a high of 24 and a low of 15, the cloud cover lingering as the jet stream remains aloft. Friday clears dramatically. Sunshine returns, temperatures holding at 24 by day and dropping to 15 at night, a rare dry spell after 2 consecutive cloudy days. Saturday warms to 27 with a low of 15, but an embedded mid-level trough revives moisture, delivering a 35% chance of rain in the afternoon. Sunday stays warm at 26, low 18, and the lingering trough produces drizzle and a 45% rain probability, especially across the western boroughs. Monday eases back to mainly clear skies, high 22, low 17, and only a modest 25% chance of showers as high pressure builds. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic's ticking along, the chamber spotlight shines on good food, and our Canadians' prospects rank shines. Stay tuned, we will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Major disruption today is the complete closure of Avenue des Arables. All traffic must divert, with Boulevard St. Laurent and Rue Saint-Denis as the main alternatives. Southbound Avenue de Lorimier between Rue Beaubien-Est and Boulevard Rosemont is also closed, pushing drivers onto nearby east-west routes. Construction continues on Rue St. Laurent between Rue Saint-Denis and Rue St. Paul, and on Avenue du Parc where lanes are reduced. A bridge inspection on Rue de la Montagne keeps one lane shut. On transit, the Green Line between Berry-UQAM and Jean Talon is offline after a signal failure. A shuttle runs between the stations and full service is not expected until 6 p.m. The Orange Line sees minor delays between Lionel Graux and Montmorency. Bus 55 detours via Rue Saint-Jean. Bus 211 runs every 30 minutes and the Airport Express is not running. Exo's Candiac Line is cancelled, while its Vaudreuil St. Catherine Line reports minor delays.
The headline for the week is the Vans Warped Tour's punk rock revival, landing at Parc Jean Drapeau on August 21 and 22. After a long hiatus, the festival brings high-energy bands and a sea of mosh pit memories, so fans can finally feel the rush of live music again. Next up, the Montreal Corgi Parade rolls into town on September 5, gathering the city's cutest four-legged ambassadors for a playful stroll through downtown. It's a perfect excuse to grab a coffee, snap a photo, and celebrate the joy these tiny dogs bring to the neighborhood. And for food lovers, Time Out Market Montreal is hosting How to Build the Perfect Italian Dinner with Tavola Italiana, a hands-on showcase of classic dishes, wine pairings, and the simple pleasure of gathering around a table. Drop by now to taste Italy without leaving the city. And now here's Jason with sports. 3 big Habs updates, prospects, a Legends honor, and contract talks. Vinzenz Rohrer, now listed 18th among the Canadiens under 25 prospects, arrived in Laval after a shortened Swiss season. He helped the Zurich Lions capture both the National League crown and the Champions Hockey League, but his point total fell to half of the prior year, leaving his NHL transition a question for Montreal's depth chart. The Canadiens will raise Carey Price into the Bell Center's Ring of Honor during their November 10 home clash with the Minnesota Wild, just one day after his Hall of Fame induction. The ceremony anchors the newly released 2026-27 Special Games slate, giving fans a marquee event to mark the start of the season. Arbor Xhekaj and Zachary Bolduc remain unsigned restricted free agents as training camp looms, leaving 2 defensive slots in Montreal's roster up for negotiation. Meanwhile, prospect Alexei Vlasov earned a rookie camp invite, signaling the organization's eye on fresh depth, while Yuppie vies for the Best NHL Mascot award. Stay tuned as the Canadiens shape their roster for the upcoming season. Thanks, Jason. Good Food, the Montreal-based meal kit company headquartered in the Mile End, has entered creditor protection as it confronts mounting financial pressures. The court-ordered shield will let the business keep its doors open while it restructures debt and maps a sustainable path forward. Good Food's kits have fed thousands of families across the city, spotlighting local farms and Quebec producers. This move signals both a challenge and a lifeline for the vibrant food entrepreneur ecosystem that blossomed after the pandemic. Beyond the kits, Good Food employs dozens of Montrealers and sources from nearby farms, keeping small producers afloat. For Montrealers, good food isn't just a service. It's a daily reminder that our neighborhoods thrive when we support homegrown flavors and the people behind them. Up next, the RCMP has recovered an ancient Peruvian bowl right here, and a historic power-packed seals between Quebec and Newfoundland. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. World-class beach volleyball erupts on the sand of Parc Jean-Drapeau as the Beach Pro Tour kicks off today, drawing top athletes and eager fans to Isle Saint-Helene. The energy is electric and the competition promises thrilling rallies. Spectators can expect high-flying spikes and tight net battles. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks CJ Waterhouse. The sun bounces off the turquoise water of the St. Helens Island Lagoon as I stand on the white sand of Parc Jean-Drapeau. The Montreal Beach Pro Tour runs from August 19 to 23, 2026, turning this island into a world-class arena. Around me, a sea of blue and pink banners ripples in the summer breeze, and the thud of a serve cuts through the low thump of a DJ's house beat. 16 elite men's and women's squads circle the net, their jerseys flashing like flags as they dive, spike, and scramble for every point. The crowd leans in, phones raised, while food trucks perfume the air with grilled corn and fresh fruit smoothies. Between sets, local kids dart between the net posts, mimicking the athletes' jumps, eyes wide with wonder. This tournament isn't just a competition. It's a living showcase that brings world-class beach volleyball to the heart of Montreal, inspiring the next generation of players. Carl Dumont, virtually at Parc Jean-Drapeau. Welcome back. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police recovered an ancient Peruvian ceramic bowl discovered in Montreal, prompting the Peruvian embassy to request its repatriation through Global Affairs Canada. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
On 17 August 2026, RCMP officers recovered an ancient Peruvian ceramic bowl discovered in the city. The artifact, believed to date back centuries, was seized during a routine investigation and secured at a local police facility. Shortly after, officials from the Peruvian embassy in Montreal formally requested its repatriation, routing the request through Global Affairs Canada. Canadian Foreign Ministry representatives confirmed that the bowl will be returned to Peru under established cultural property protocols. The cooperation between law enforcement and diplomatic channels underscores the ongoing effort to protect heritage objects that surface abroad. The bowl is slated for transport back to its country of origin later this month. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
Quebec and Newfoundland have sealed a new Churchill Falls hydroelectric agreement with Premier Christine Fréchette, Premier Tony Wakeham and Prime Minister Mark Carney announcing coordinated development and electricity sales. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Premier Christine Fréchette and Premier Tony Wakeham, alongside Prime Minister Mark Carney, unveiled a bilateral energy pact on August 17 in St. John's. The agreement outlines joint coordination on the development and commercial sale of power generated by the Churchill Falls hydroelectric station. Under the deal, Quebec will assist Newfoundland and Labrador in expanding transmission capacity, while both provinces will share revenue streams from electricity exports. Officials said the partnership aims to streamline licensing, grid integration, and long-term pricing structures, ensuring the facility's output meets provincial and national demand. The pact also includes provisions for environmental monitoring and community engagement as the project moves toward increased production. The announcement marks a new phase of interprovincial collaboration on renewable resources. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, St. John.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the lunch break. Yesterday's heartfelt wake for legendary pianist Oliver Jones reminded us of the city's rich cultural spirit. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories that matter to you. Stay tuned, stay safe, and see you again soon.